I nearly am doubling the biggest septic tank you can have. I drew this today. So I found a law or ordinance. Researching online because I'm like, I've talked about this before with the permitting process and me having a desire of not fighting with these people, right? So what I found was there is a law or bill number 454 that pertains to just all the sewage stuff. And right in here, and you know, it doesn't, I don't have like the prescribed minimums, but it says right here, prescribed minimum requirements for the design and construction of subsurface sewage disposal systems, alternative sewage disposal systems, and non-water carried sewage disposal facilities, and allow for alternative systems and component materials consistent with minimum requirements. Okay, blah, 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 blah. This section may vary in different areas or regions of the state. Okay. This also in this bill, there's something for gray water usage and all this stuff, which is really encouraging. Although I have no desire to mess with gray water. I mean, why would I want to? I'm treating sewage. I got a sewage treatment plant. Why wouldn't I want to just simply treat everything and just, you know, the effluent that comes out the other end is going to be the same exact bonus any gray water would be, except the nutrients, right? So there's going to be some nutrients in gray water that you're not going to have in what I have. So, oh well, but I am going to use the water. There's no reason why I wouldn't. I'm also going to use the solids as well. I'm going to build a solar oven, and I've got it all figured out too, because like pumping solid waste, liquefied solid waste, like the pump. So I'm thinking about just using a basically like a vacuum pump, right? So I would have a hose that goes to the bottom of the IBC tank, and then that would come up to outside into basically a giant black box, and not even giant, but you know, like, a couple 100 gallons probably of volume. That's kind of orientated more like super long and low and flat. So it just basically like isn't like a super deep, right? It just spreads it out in there. So then on the other end of that would be a vacuum pump. So it would pull it through and up and out into that thing. So the vacuum pump would never actually have to pump anything, right? And then there would have to kind of be a flush on that line that would then, which I might as well just get from the effluent right there. I might as well make that so I can bring it back and flush that hose, because you can't just like pump that hose once a year and have it completely impacted with solid waste. I guess it has to completely get cleared out. So yeah, maybe it wouldn't need to be flushed, because, well, no, that's not true. Because there's got to be a level where you stop. You can't drain your whole entire first tank. You just want to drain the bottom out of it. And they use vacuum pump trucks to suck it up out of there. So basically I just got to mimic one of those trucks right on the spot. And anyway, there's going to be a lot of details I got to work out. I mean, it's something. I got that drawn, and I think with that law and that drawn, I'm ready to go to the county. Like, I wanted to get samples and all this, but my property's already been sample tested, so I'll get more if they want, but you know, I'm not really dropping anything that needs to worry about whether the soil's good or not. So that should completely 100% whatever's coming out of there and going into the little pond that it goes into, filled with little plants. Now, maybe I need to tell them about that too. I'm leaving that part out because I'm just like, that should be sufficient for them. But then, you know, where's that where's that water going? Into the ponds. I'll probably ask that. I mean, I should probably draw that system out too now that I'm thinking about it. Yes, I should. That's I showed this one, right? But now I have that one. I mean, it's super rudimentary drawings. The water, really, this one's more, I mean, and I just have to say the water goes in here and then flows up here, but it flows below the sand line. So there could be, oh yeah, I should show that. That would be a good idea, show the water level right there. There's how Guda draws water. But that makes a lot more sense right there. It's always good to explain something to somebody. The camera's a lot like a person. So yeah, it goes in there. Boop. It goes through 10 tanks. Goes out. Comes in. Dribbles into the sand. Goes into the pond full of these types of plants. This layer here, nothing goes below. This is like cement or something. Pond liner, whatever I decide to use. And then this is just all filled with sand. You know, there's probably like a little bit of potting soil or a little bit of something around each one of these baby plants that gets put in there. But that's it. Whatever can make it through all that, which, you know, is, I would imagine, the only thing that makes it through there is going to be nitrous, phosphorus, you know, fertilizer. Basically fertilizer, right? Okay, fertilizer, right? So that's where all these plants will get their food. So if these plants are just like dying because there's nothing to eat, I'll know that this is a really good system. In the inverse, I guess, but, you know, I don't know. I can just test here, so I don't really need to look at plants to get my calculations. This with the water, this one right here, testing. Biodigester is not pictured in here because it's really not a part of the system except for where this vent goes into, actually. The vent doesn't actually go up like that. The vent actually goes over here and connects with one of these that's built into a biodigester. So, and that's a whole nother thing. Yeah, I have a few more tanks to buy now with this system. But with this system, I was looking at gallons. That was my concept here, is like, this is 2,700 gallons capacity. So the biggest septic tank you can buy is 1,500 gallons. I wasn't able to actually find out the actual volume of the leach field of a septic system. I nearly am doubling the biggest septic tank you can have. So, as far as volume, processing can power, right? And I think this here is permittable per that. But, who knows? We'll see.